Hello everybody, Hero310 here, back with another video. As you can see, I don't know if you can, as you can see, this is a 47-minute video. Whew, I don't know what I was thinking when I decided to make this. I gotta get to work, I gotta go to bed to wake up for work tomorrow. I'm supposed to go to school, but I ain't gonna make it in time. But anyway, whatever. I gotta, hey, this topic just came to my mind, so I want to go ahead and talk about it. So as you can see by the title of the video, the topic of this video is going to be me explaining what I consider to be a Superman level being or Superman levels of power. We all know that, every time there's a character who's super strong, super durable, super fast, can fly and all that, everyone's like, Superman copycat. And they put them against Superman. So I decided to make a new tier of power because I think I'm going to get back into making battles again. Ever since I stopped making battles, stuff still came to my mind. Stuff about Spirit still came to my mind. So I said, what the heck? Let's go back to YouTube. Won't be the first time. But I'm gonna use some terms to kind of break down the levels of power. But that's for later on. But one of the things I'm gonna say is a Superman level being. Why Superman? One, he's one of my favorite characters. Two, Superman is actually a pretty good measuring stick of power. He's not a mid tier. He's a high tier. Now listen, I'm a Superman fan. I'm a fanboy of two heroes, Mcu Vision and Superman. I love Superman with all my heart, right? But is he a top tier contender? Yes. But he's not like a be all end all. Like, he can't beat Darkseid by himself. He can't beat Thanos by himself. So, he's strong enough to where he's like, oh snap, if you can fight Superman, you up there. But at the same time, if you can fight Superman, well, there's still people above you. And I'll talk about that later on in the video and in other videos. But anyway, so I've got a list of a couple Marvel characters who I think are Superman. Some are going to be slightly above Superman level, but I still put them on anyway. Well, not some, but one really. So, okay, in my opinion, what is a Superman level being? Well, in my opinion, a Superman level being needs to have super strength and a great amount of this stuff at that. Super strength, super durability. Not necessarily speed, and or they don't need recovery, but it'd be nice to have. Basically, they have to be so strong and so durable that no matter what you put in front of them to slow them down, to fight them, that thing is going to either get demolished or struggle greatly. Let me give you an example. Superman fought the entire Justice League by himself. Now, this was the first iteration of the Justice League. And this is DCU, by the way. But, he still fought Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and Flash. 4 very powerful people in their own right. Right? Wonder Woman is like, I don't have her, she's not I'm not going to say she's pushing up on Superman tier, but she's like she's in the ballpark. She sees the ballpark of Superman tier, okay? let's put it like that. She's not quite at his level, but she's pretty powerful herself. But her Aquaman's a person who's, somewhat comparable to Wonder Woman. Flash, who is a super fast, is actually faster than Superman. That's another reason why they said speed didn't necessarily matter. Because you can have somebody who's faster than you, but still ultimately can't do nothing to you. As we saw in the both cuts of the Justice League movie, Flash couldn't do nothing to Superman. But yeah, in Cyborg, so he was able to effortlessly defeat them. Now I know for a fact Wonder Woman by herself could give an army of soldiers some trouble. Add an Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg, they could defeat an army. Superman defeated them effortlessly. So a Superman tier being needs to be able to defeat an army effortlessly. Or at least wipe out 97% of that army if they can't defeat the entire army on their own. And we do have a couple Marvel characters. Now, they were never stated to do. Some of these characters were never stated doing that, never showed anything like that. But based on who they are and what we know about them, we can, infer, like we can infer, we can reasonably infer that, yeah, they could take on an army, or an army can't stop such and such. All right. And before we really get into the video proper, I just want to say that every time I make a video with Superman, it's always Superman bull rushes, Superman speed boost. It's like you guys do know it's okay if, this is just one, this is just my opinion, but two, Superman can't beat everybody. You're a toxic fanboy if you really think he can. Just because someone's up against Superman doesn't mean they're standing a chance. There are tons of times when Superman is failed by people who isn't on his who normally would pose no threat to him. Case in point, actually, that just reminded me, now that I think about it. Remember Superman in Suicide Squad 2, we learned that Bloodsport, Idris Elba character, put Superman in the ICU, the intensive care unit, with a kryptonite bullet. So, in addition to their actual powers, any weaknesses or anything that everything about these characters I'm going to consider when making them, deciding if they're Superman tier or not. Because that's what causes Superman to suck sometimes. He loses to people like Batman, Lex Luthor. He loses to these people and he gets hurt very badly because, kryptonite. Yeah, well, that's kind of boring. And honestly, it's just like, dude, what are we doing here? What are we honestly doing here? Okay. Back to the Superman tier stuff. Okay, a Superman tier being needs to be able to effortlessly defeat an army, or at least wipe out 95% of an army. They need a vast amount of durability. And when I mean durability, I'm talking so I consider this to be three tier. I consider it to be three tiers. Like there's like a low tier Superman being, a mid tier, and a high tier Superman being. Okay, a low tier being will be somebody who at the very least, it would take they can tank half of an island explosion. Okay, let's see, what's the island? I don't know my geography well enough to say, like, half of a mid-sized island. If a character can survive that with very little to no injuries, I will say that character can be put as a low-tier Superman being. Because remember, okay, one of the strongest things we've seen Superman do, I guess I should have went and told about his powers, huh? Superman is extremely fast, strong, durable. He has X-ray vision, laser vision, frost breath. And another thing to add to the tier, the number of powers they have, that can, the different abilities they have, that can also count. But anyway, he has laser vision, frost breath, X-ray vision, enhanced senses, flight, whole 9 yards, right? One of Superman's greatest strength feats we don't see on camera is when he shifted a tectonic plate to prevent an earthquake. We learned about this in the Batman v Superman movie. It was on a newspaper clipping. Tectonic plates can vary in size, so we don't know how large this tectonic plate was, but a tectonic plate is a tectonic plate. So that already puts Superman at a low continent level of strength. Superman, Superman is close to breaking out of his own tier. He's like, in terms of the Superman tier that I'm thinking of in my head, Superman is at the is close to the very, very, very edge of that. He's almost breaking out. If he got like one power up, he'd be beyond Superman. But anyway, he shifted a entire tectonic plate. But that's a continent level size. That's a continent level, amount of energy and force he has to put. But he got hurt by a nuke. Now, some people say it was possible he was weakened from the kryptonite. I guess, whatever. I don't fucking know no more. But we've seen him get sent through buildings in his fight with Zod and his fight with Doomsday. He was thrown through a black marble statue that I can only assume was was stronger than normal like marble statues. At least I would think it would be. When he flies, he cracks the ground. Extreme caliber bullets do nothing but just bounce right off of him. He, dude has, other than kryptonite, nothing's really hurt this guy. And again, with Doomsday, you could say it was Doomsday hurt him, but there was no kryptonite involved. So we don't really know. We don't really know. He was able to easily trounce Steppenwolf when the entire league was struggling with this. And again, this is even when Steppenwolf got a power up from the mother boxes. So yeah, let's see. What's the, yeah, I think that's about it. That's about it. He, and he survived the world engine, which, was terraforming the earth. Like he was weaker under it, but still flew straight through it and cracked it. I put this at a mountain level feat of durability. It's not like an island or nothing, but hey, because the world engine was able to crush a mountain when it landed. So the fact that Superman was able to, fly through that while weakened, that's he's like above mount. That's above mountain really, but we'll just say mountain type lowball it. All right. So with all that being said, with all that we know about DCEU Superman, who are some beings who can match him? Who are the beings who are either in the low, mid, or high tier of Superman? Who's in the high tier of the Superman tier? And who is above it? Well, let me see. Trying to wait. I wonder when the picture gonna pop up. Whatever, I'll get started even though the picture's on there. The first person we gonna put on there, the first person on this tier from the MCU. Now, I'm mainly focusing on MCU characters because, they got more characters, they're more diverse and all that, yada, 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 yada. It's not too many powerful people in DC, believe it or not. Anyway, the first person on that tier is MCU Vision. I know some of y'all probably just rolled y'all eyes right now, but listen, Vision is constantly, and I mean constantly, being slept on by everybody. Every single person. Nobody understands just how powerful this dude is. And I honestly don't get why. Because if you have a brain cell, right? If you can think halfway for yourself, you don't need to be told he's this strong. You should know. Vision is infused with vibranium at the cellular level. Cellular level, right? So Vision, and what that means is he has a body, like the human body is comprised of trillions and trillions of cells. The same with Vision's body. But Vision's trillions and trillions of cells that make up his entire body is enriched with vibranium. So technically, he's stronger than vibranium because he has his synthetic cells that's also coating it and adding to it. This was supposed to be the final form of Ultron. And in this final form, and in What If, and yes, What If isn't technically canon, but you want to know what? What if it follows enough of the it is canon. It's in the Marvel universe, so like it. What If is not restricted by budget, so they can do more. So it seems like these are different characters, but these are what the original creators, like Kevin Feige and them, had in mind for these characters. In the What If version of If Ultron won, right? The episode where Ultron gets Visions as the final body. He destroys, he gets the Avengers don't stop him. We actually see him defeat the Avengers. He beats Thor. He beats Hulk. He beats Iron Man. He beats Captain America. All of these characters are in the same room laying down. highly indicating he fought them all at the same time and beat them. And I know you're probably gonna go like, oh, well, no, that was an Ultron with Vision's body. Dude, shut up. It doesn't matter. It does. The body that was used is what matters. It's the body that MCU Vision, in the movies one we see, it's the body he has. So his body is at least equal to Thor and Hulk. Why do I say at least equal to Thor and Hulk when he beat Iron Man and Captain America too? Well, Iron Man was still up after a while, like he was crawling away before he was killed. So, they probably got beaten like one by one. You also got to remember the powers Vision has. He has the Mind Stone, which gives him laser vision, so he can keep a few of them at range, even though he fought 2 ranged people in that fight. But he also has phasing. Phasing allows him to negate all the attacks they pretty much throw at him. And he's made of vibranium. Vibranium is vibration absorption. So, that's it's likely they couldn't really do too much, except like Cap couldn't pretty much do anything. Iron Man, he could he could buzz around and stall them. But then we had somebody like who's that other guy? Oh yeah, then we got Thor and Hulk, who are the actual heavy hitters. Now we know from Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame that Vision's he's extremely durable, but he's not invulnerable because Thanos was able to crack vibranium. Okay, fine. Firstly, Vision was weakened because of the dumb Russo brothers who wanted to, the Russo brothers are on record saying that they don't get through Justice League because the Justice League aren't relatable. The Russo brothers are one of these people who hate powerful characters. I just want to put that out there. You gotta remember that when you're talking about how Vision's performance in Infinity War. He was stabbed by Corvus Glaive, which weakened him and stopped him from phasing and slowed him down. But he was still able to tackle Corvus Glaive, who was above super soldier level, throw him against a brick wall, and he fell off top of a building. He actually fell through the train station building before he told Wanda to leave. Then he pushed Corvus Glaive off the Wakandan palace and survived the fall. So Vision, that's pretty durable. That's like cyborg levels of durability right there, and he's weakened. That's like multi-cyborg levels of durability, if I'm being honest. But Vision, like I said, at the he is made of vibranium at the cellular level. This means his entire makeup is made of vibranium. So everything that all the durability feats that vibranium has, Vision also gets. So the vibranium pillar that survived the explosion of Sokovia, of 80% of Sokovia, Vision gets that. It survived that without a scratch. So even if the blast was a bit bigger, and if it was more, if it was a bigger chunk of chunk of the city that got destroyed, it would still be okay because it might be cracked a bit, it might be hurt, but it survived that big blast, and that blast was going to be powerful enough. It was big enough, and it was up high enough, so it was going to wipe out all the life on Earth. It was going to be akin to the meteor that hit the dinosaurs. So that's like a mid-sized island level of durability right there. And yeah, whatever. MCU Vision he's not as big as the big pillar. Okay, fine. But you know what? He's more denser. Like I said, all his cells make up that vibranium. All his cells have been enriched with vibranium. All them cells compact so close together would be equal to, if not more than, the big pillar that's spread out and all that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and give it to we can give him that. So just from that alone, he's already mid-sized island level. Now, personally, where do I put Vision in terms of on this tier? I say Vision is a mid to high-ish tier. I'm a little hesitant about putting him at Soup's level entirely, but no, I'm not. I just remembered something. He survived getting sent straight down to the core of the earth, and it was this was stated in a guidebook, the Avengers Civil War guidebook. Scarlet Witch actually launched Vision to the center of the earth, and he survived. And what did he say? What did he say when he got blasted down? He was just like, "Ouch." Just no-sold that, right? And let's not forget his fight with White Vision in Westview, right? Going through buildings and stuff. So Vision is a very, very, he's a high tier Superman character. He's like, if Superman's 100, I'm going to give Vision a 98. But on to the next character. Now, Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is somebody who I do not consider to be a Superman level being. Also, forgot, sorry, I rambled a bit and forgot to get to my points. But Vision also has phasing and he has shock absorption from his vibranium. So he cancels out any attack Superman throws at him. But on to Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is more powerful than Superman, most definitely. But she's not a Superman level, she's not a Superman tier being. She doesn't have the durability or strength. While she has enhanced durability, and maybe enhanced strength from her magic, she's not that much more durable than a human. And we saw this in Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of the Madness. She didn't really tank blasts from Carol. She didn't take shield hits from Captain Carter. She was using her shield to block and deflect them. She was actually pretty weakened. Like, she had to be on her P's and Q's. Now, her reaction speed is great, but I doubt she has the reaction speed to keep up with Superman. Now, everyone says that, if Superman and Scarlet Witch fought, if Superman fought smartly, he would speed blitz her, and that'd be the end of that. So she can't really hang there. Like, if she had the durability of, let's say, Infinity War Iron Man, who is below Vision, MCU Vision, then she'd be a Superman level being, because she would have a good amount of durability to, go with her vast magical power. But her only hope for fighting someone like Superman is to get them in an illusion or to get her psychic shields up. And even then, she can be overwhelmed. So like I said, very powerful, but she's just not quite. She's not quite the Superman. Like, she's a Superman level threat, but she's not a Superman tier being. And there is a difference between those. There is a difference. But on to the next person. Now, this is a low end Superman tier character, and it's Icarus from the MCU Eternals movie. Spoiler alert, found out today some people hate that movie. I don't know why. I really like it. Anyway, Icarus is lacking feats, but it's not his fault why he lacks feats. It's the movie he was in, the amount of people in, the budget. I get it. So let's go with what we know. Practically every Eternal revered Icarus for his power. Even Gilgamesh. Remember when they were going to round up all the other Eternals after Crow first attacked Cersei and Ajax, and Icarus saved them? Firstly, Icarus tackled Crow through a building and then threw him into a bus. This is the same Crow that could jump on top of a car, like a mid-sized car, and squish it. Icarus, when they find Gilgamesh, Sprite goes, even Icarus couldn't kill that deviant who attacked us. And Gilgamesh goes, "You couldn't kill it?" And Icarus goes, "I was distracted, man. I'm sorry." And which is true. He was there with Cersei. Icarus has survived getting, people, you might point to the thing where Icarus gets his head held onto the ground by a deviant. But you got to remember, Cersei turned a tree into solid metal, a pretty big tree. Like, she went to the lower part of the tree and dropped the rest of the upper tree onto the deviant to pin it, and then eventually got out, and it didn't have any scratch or anything on it, and it survived a shotgun blast. So those things are tough. Both deviants and Eternals both come from the very powerful Celestial Arashim. So yeah, that's I don't hold that against him, but he was able to stop a charging deviant, even rip open its mouth while stopping its charge, and then light it up from the inside with his laser vision. So he's pretty strong. But let's get to the Superman tier stuff. So at the end of the movie, Icarus flies from Earth into space, and he displaces a small island like size. He makes a small island size hole in the clouds, and then he flies into the sun. Now he does not die while approaching the sun, and two, when he first enters. He lives for quite a while, and he tanks a solar flare on his way down. That's at least an island level of, like, destruction right there. Going through the gravity of the sun and hitting the solar flare within the same time. And he was still alive until he went deeper into the sun. And he closed his eyes as he was flying in. Now, this was possibly due to the light. He probably just because he was sad. So who knows how long he was actually in that sun. And I actually went online and I was looking up stuff that the director said about it. The director said it's possible that Icarus is still alive, that he's just there sitting at the core of the sun, just, not doing anything. So until he comes back into a future movie, if we are lucky enough to get a future movie, I got a feeling we won't. We'll never know. But displacing the cloud displacement, because he needed to generate force to do that. And he had to use his strength to generate that force. That's why I count that. Displacing the clouds, flying to the sun, going in the sun, taking a solar flare as he's going in the sun. Icarus is tough. Now, Icarus is like I said, on the weaker side. Like, he's probably small island level durability. Like, you probably need 5 Icaruses to equal DCU Superman. But hey, whatever. It should be no, maybe not 5. Maybe 3. Yeah, you need about 3 Icaruses to equal DCU Superman. But it should be noted that the Eternals, it took 3 Eternals to fight Icarus. Makari, Athena, and Phastos. Very powerful and very combat-oriented Eternals in their own right. And even then they had to, they were getting pushed back. On to our next Superman tier being, and that's going to be MCU Thor. MCU Thor. Okay. I struggled with this for the longest time. Ever since I first started this channel, I would sometimes say, well, maybe Thor will win, or maybe, Superman. I know I made some videos about it in the past, and I said Thor won. Sorry, had to yawn. But I can assure you guys, I was not confident when I said that. Now, Thor, and I'm going to count Mighty Thor, Jane Foster, as well, because she had, getting his hammer, she got his powers. My confidence in them changed when I saw Infinity War. When I saw Infinity War, that really, 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 really made me be like, okay, all right, Thor is on the level of someone like Superman, because without a hammer, he was able to tank the force. He was able, firstly, move the giant rings of the dwarf planet Nidavellir or something like that. He was able to move those giant rings, and that was like trillions of tons in and of itself. That's on par or close to DC Superman's tectonic plate feat. But then he survived the blast from the dwarf star long enough to actually, forge his ingots. So he just sat there tanking the force of a dying star, and then he fell because he was weakened from the bat, and he was weakened from the blast, and he was on death's door. So he falls down, hitting things on the way down, and he's still alive, despite being burnt nearly to a crisp, despite being badly injured. And he gets Stormbreaker, and he heals himself just like that. So, Icarus, not Icarus, sorry. So, it speaks for itself, really. That speaks for itself. That's like he doesn't have the speed of Superman, but he's got the strength and durability. We also saw that those are probably his best feats. But then he got Stormbreaker, Now even without a hammer, he can manipulate the weather. Though he doesn't use other weather stuff much. He doesn't make wind. Well, he makes wind, but he doesn't like make hailstones. He doesn't make it rain. He doesn't do a lot. But hey, whatever. He can manipulate the weather. He can generate lightning and electricity, and he's got Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker is made of the Uru metal, and it's great at absorbing energy. In fact, it was able to absorb the power of all 6 Infinity Gems. Though this was Thanos not really doing his best with the gauntlet and just firing at Thor just to try to get some offense in. The fact that it was able to absorb all of that and overpower the beam is pretty impressive. So that's going to counter Superman's electricity. And Stormbreaker can also summon the Bifrost, so this gives him teleportation. Now, Jane Foster's different because she gets his strength and durability, but she doesn't have as much of the power. Like, she can split up Mjolnir, and it should be noted that both Jane and Thor are magic with these powers, and magic is a weakness to Kryptonians. So she can split up Mjolnir, but I doubt that would do too much to Superman. But like I said, she does have the strength and the durability of Thor, so she should be able to do, a little something to Superman. Honestly, I'm going to put Thor above Mighty Thor. I'm going to give Thor like a 10, and I'll give Mighty Thor like a 7. So I think Thor is a mid like a mid-tier pushing on a high tier in the Superman tier. So he's like a mid to high Superman tier being. And Mighty Thor, Jane Foster, I'm going to go ahead and put her at a low tier being. She's low, but she is in that tier nonetheless. Now, let's talk about somebody else. Let's talk about Hela. Hela is I believe Hela is the equivalent. I believe Hela is equal to Superman, right? Actually, now that I think Hela is slightly, and I do mean slightly above Superman. Like Superman's a 10, Hela's an 11.5. Why do I believe this? Well, Hela fought Thor and she fought Loki. She fought Thor and she fought Valkyrie simultaneously. She was able to crush Mjolnir, which is made of Uru, one of the indestructible metals, and she did this effortlessly after she had been depowered. And her power only grew as she got to Asgard. After defeating Thor and squashing the hammer, she immediately came back and dispatched the Asgardian army, which is tougher than the armies of the Earth. So that's that's mega brownie points right there. But like I said, Hela fought Thor and she fought Valkyrie at the same time. Now, Valkyrie, we don't know too much of her power. She is technically kind of featless, but she has shown to be at the same tier of like the Thor level beings, right? She's at the level of she's like equal to Mighty Thor, Jane Foster, right? She was shown keeping up with them. So the fact that she fought two of them side by side, because we also saw Valkyrie capable of taking down the Hulk. And yeah, Hulk was friends with Valkyrie. He liked Valkyrie. He respected her strength. I doubt he would just let anybody take him down. And P.S. I now have Thor over Hulk. I got Thor at a 10 and Hulk at a 9, maybe a 9.5. But the fact that, like I said, Hela fighting two of them and having the upper hand on them. There was nothing they could do against her. She was winning that. There was nothing they could do against her. She was winning that fight handedly. The fact that she was able to do that already puts her above Superman. Now, again, I may have given Valkyrie a little too much credit, because she was injured in one of the fights, and she was captured twice throughout the fight with Gore. But she is close to that level. And I think it's interesting that it was Valkyrie and Thor, and it was not Thor and Hulk. Now, this might have been due to story, or this might have been due to just whatever. But the fact that, Hulk was busy taking care of Fenris and only got up to fight Searcher for a brief second, and Valkyrie was left with fighting Hela. Yeah, it's pretty, it's interesting. I'll say that. So I'm not gonna give Hela too much credit, because even though she's comparable to him, I do have Hulk over Valkyrie. So, if she would have been beating Hulk and Thor, I would have said, oh yeah, she's far above Superman. But the fact that it was Thor and Valkyrie, we'll give a little credit. Now, there are several beings who are at the, also, Hela's got her magical blades, she's got her healing factor, all that. Now, with all that being said, there are some beings in Marvel who are above Superman, who are above the Superman tier. You got people like Thanos, right? You got people like Arshan the Judge, Ego. You got you got the person we finna talk about up next, Captain Marvel. That's right, people. I have officially decided that Captain Marvel is going to be, I do believe she's stronger than Superman. If Superman's a 10, I got her at a 15. She's just done way too much, man. In the Marvel movies, now she was able to provide part of the energy needed to crack space and time. She flew and restarted a dying sun, and she was at the center of that sun like it was nothing. The center of the sun has such unimaginable heat and pressure extremes that it boggles the mind. And here is Captain Marvel at the center of that thing like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. So her blast attacks are at a very are unbelievably strong. Like she could easily punch a hole in a planet, like it was stated in What If. So that's why I consider What If canon, because if in What If it was stated that she could blast a hole through a planet, and the Marvels movie actually showed that, because if she could restart a dying star and bring it to it was like a mid-sized star the size of Earth, then she could easily punch a hole through a planet. Shoot, she could probably punch a hole through 2 planets. No, well, maybe not 2 planets, but still. Right, she was able to punch a hole through a planet. Okay, so listen. I used to tell you guys that I don't know who would win between these two. And that was because I didn't know how their power sets worked. Captain Marvel shoots photons. Photons are light. That's basically light. She shoots extremely concussive, powerful concussive blasts of light and kinetic energy. Superman shoots off heat vision, which is a form of energy, plasma. Captain Marvel absorbs energy, both. I think she can do it actively and passively. Superman absorbs solar radiation. Light is a form of radiation. But as I was making this video, I thought of something. Superman was hurt by a nuclear bomb. What does a nuclear bomb give off? Radiation akin to the sun. Not quite at its level, but it's radiation. It's the light. It's the radioactive forces. It's all those. Superman was hurt by that. So this leads me to believe 2 things. Either A, he couldn't absorb he doesn't absorb pure light, and it's some other thing that his body does to it. Or B, Superman got hurt by the shock wave, by the concussive force of the kinetic energy, concussive force of the nuke. And if that's the case, Captain Marvel can easily hurt him, because she can generate an even greater concussive force than that. How do we know this? Well, she restarted a star. That's possibly billions to trillions of times more than a nuke. Right? She could nuke the Earth several times over with her power. All right. Even while depowered, she survived a fall from space. She got up no problem. That in itself makes her Superman tier. And then when she got the chip off, she gained her full power. So she gained the boost in her strength, durability, her flight, and all of that. Captain Marvel is so strong because she, in the comics, she has to go into a mode called binary, but she's already like binary in the MCU. She's like, it's like just part of her, right? Captain Marvel is truly she is one of the few beings who I can definitively put above Superman. Not only does she have the speed, not only does she have the strength and durability, she's got the speed as well. She has the speed to, because we saw that she was able, it's like she's at least, I subscribe to the fact that she's much faster than light. A lot of people say she only can travel that fast, but you can't travel somewhere if you can't see, right? So the fact that she's able to fly through space, not crashing into stuff, shows you just like that she can move that fast and react to stuff and move around. Also, when she was scouting out the planet for the Avengers, she went down to that planet, flew around to make sure Thanos wasn't there. Like she checked. She said there's no sentries, there's no guards, it's just him. That means she was flying and she was looking at the same time. And remember, she left the ship to go scout out by herself, might I add. And then she came back, 6 seconds later? Unbelievable speed. So she's got the speed to keep up with Superman. And she's one of the few beings on this. And she's the only person, actually, no, I think she is the only person on this list with the speed to keep up with Superman. And even surpass him. Because Superman can't go faster than light. So she's faster, stronger, and more durable than Superman. Now, her strength is interesting because we've never really seen her use like pure lifting feats like we've seen with Superman. But she was able to stop one of those massive Kree ballistic missiles. That has to be at least like 100 tons at the very least. So, granted, that's like nowhere near a that's nowhere near a like a tectonic plate level of display, but still pretty powerful in and of itself. She was able to bend some metal around a door while she was depowered. So I mean, I'll admit, in terms of pure lifting and like lifting feats, she's not the best. But in What If, we actually saw her tackle and bull rush Ultron through the core of a planet and begin to crack his vibranium, his armor. And I think it was just his armor. I don't think it was his vibranium. So bull rushing someone to the center of the earth. Again, another being who can survive the center of the earth. And another case of showing that Vision himself can survive the center of the earth, because that was Ultron and Vision's body. So the fact that she was able to, nearly crack his armor. His armor was created to hold the power. Oh snap! She does have a continent level durability. Sorry, she was able to crack Ultron's armor. Ultron's armor was created to house 5 of the 6 Infinity Gems. The other one was in his forehead. If Captain Marvel if she can crack that means she can crack something that that's close to, if not at, continent level. Because in Avengers Endgame, Tony Stark revealed that the Nano Gauntlet was channeling enough force to light up a continent, and that's a saying that's basically saying like, hey, that gauntlet has enough energy to destroy the entire country. So yes, that's a country level feat for. Yes, she does have that. Okay, it's not a. All right. I almost forgot that. Good. And speaking of things I almost forgot, there was the vibranium that ended up in Asgard. It was 2 pieces of vibranium that ended up on Earth. Not Asgard. One that went to Wakanda and it survived falling from space. But there was a second meteor that hit in the ocean down by this was where the Atlanteans would come. Namor and then would come to Discovery News, right? So a chunk of vibranium was able to fall from space and hit the ground, which is intact, largely intact. So that's a plus to Vision's strength and that's a plus for his durability. And then there was the one that hit the ocean. So that's at least like small island to medium sized island level right there. Okay, so yeah. But anyway, back to Captain. But basically with Captain Marvel, right? So she's got the strength. Her strength is equal to his, about equal. Her like pure lifting strength. her destructive blast, like her energy blast, is more powerful than his attacks. His freeze breath, his super breath, and his heat vision. Her speed is greater, and I think she's a little smarter than Superman, if I'm being honest myself. So, I mean, I don't see Superman beating her. She's definitively above him. I think she's 2 of him. I think Captain Marvel is 2 Superman. So let me change my scale. If Superman's a 10, I think Captain Marvel's a 20. But I've rambled on long enough. I got to get to bed here, folks. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's like 2 minutes left on it, so sorry about that. But I had a lot of fun making this video. I hope I'm trying to get better with talking. I'm trying to get better with not saying I put music in this video. I'm trying to do a little better with this YouTube stuff, but yeah. I'll see you next time.